Hi YouTube. In this video I'll be talking about Aventurine and whether you should pull him or not. I'll make sure this is a quick video and cover everything about him and what you should build. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out with the channel. With that being said, let's go on with the video. So initially I will start off with this. Do you pull him, yes or no? My answer is very simple. Do you have two of these three characters? And if the answer is no, then you should probably consider pulling Aventurine. It is quite hard to do Memory of Chaos without two sustains, one in each team. So I do recommend that you have at least two of the top sustainers in the game. And if you don't, I do recommend pulling Aventurine, and we'll cover why later. I also want to advise that it would be best if you would pull for Aventurine around 10 days before he leaves the server, meaning around the time of the special program, so we can actually see if there's a Fushuan or Huoho rerun. In that case, you might want to pull for them instead of Aventurine. Okay, so quickly with his abilities, he has a trace which gives him crit rate. For example, we don't know his actual limit to his defense until he gains crit rate, but we could give an example of over 2000, and then if you had 5000 defense, that would equate to around 30% crit rate. My honest opinion, I don't see why this is valuable. If it was for his allies, it would make sense. But himself to do damage, I doubt it. It's completely off. He has his own shield that he brings up when he begins the turn. Fair enough, he doesn't have to use skill points. His other traits allows his stacks to increase, meaning he could do a follow-up attack and get more shields. This is further increased with follow-up attack characters like Topaz and Doctor Ratio, meaning that he will get his stacks faster. Now, does this mean that you want to pull Aventurine only if you have Topaz and Doctor Ratio built up? No. The answer is no. He is quite literally a god tier sustain. It's quite crazy, honestly. But if anything, he is providing more support to follow up attack because of the shield. But realistically, do you need that many shields? No, you don't. I've seen the numbers, they're pretty crazy. Then we have his technique. Again, just extra defense for your allies is whatever. Here we have his follow-up attack that he triggers after gaining, I believe, 9 stacks. It does a bit of damage, but more importantly, it gives his allies shield. He does get a bit of crowd resist, and if his allies get effect res, so that's pretty nice. And we have his skill, gives a shield to all allies and himself. We don't really know the numbers, but I'm pretty sure this whole character scales off of defense. And then we have his ultimate that does single damage, but more importantly, it increases the crit damage dealt by your allies. That's the more important part. This would mean that any characters like Topaz, Dr. Ratio, Sealer, whoever builds crit damage will gain a lot from this. So as for his Lightcones, we obviously have his signature Lightcone. It's not like it's a must type of signature Lightcone, but I mean it is pretty much better than any other Lightcone there is right now. So increases defense by 40%. I mean, if this doesn't tell you he scales off of defense, I don't know what else does, but it's pretty obvious. When the warrior provides a shield to an ally, crit damage increases by 40%. Again, crit damage dealer buffs. When the follow-up attack hits an enemy, 100% base chance to increase the damage taken by enemy. So it's pretty much a nerf. It's a debuff that he gives to his opponents. You don't really, I mean, 10% isn't really gonna do much, so it's whatever. The second ability is whatever. I feel like they're giving it a debuff stat for the boss just so you can use it on an Acheron team or something. But from the free-to-play side, we do not need his Lightcone at all. Honestly, this is it. Trend of the universal market increases defense, especially if you can get it to S5, 32%. That's basically 40%. It might as well be. And he also does debuff on the enemy. There you go. It's a free version of his main Lightcone. This is it. with this, you can actually use him on an Acheron team as well. So there's that. As for the other two, I guess, Lightcones you can consider, I guess you can get Gepard's one, increases defense. He also has a high chance of being attacked by enemies. I mean, defense-wise, this is probably the best. And as a 4-star version of that, I believe is Landau's Choice. I mean, damage taken reduced. I mean, the amount of shield he has, you probably do not need this at all. And maybe you can use Day 1 of My New Life as well. It's not too bad. And lastly, relics wise, I mean, if he's going to stack from defense, I would say go for Knight's Forgiving Cost, increases defense by 12. He also increases the damage that can be absorbed by the shield. Like, surely has to be the best set for him, defensive wise. I do see people trying to build DPS on him, but like, why? There's no way you get a sustain character to sustain for your team. He does that perfectly. This increases his abilities of defending for his allies. So why do people try to make or try to even consider a DPS build? I don't understand it. Realistically, it's not going to be sustainable. He doesn't do that much damage by itself, at least. And even if you get support to do damage, why would you support him while you can support some actual DPS? Any other DPS would outdamage him if he had the same support that he would need to do damage himself. And for planar ornaments, I mean, if you want more defense, but I feel like he has enough defense after all your relics set. So you could go this effect. Hit rate doesn't really matter. Or you could go a Fleet of the Ageless if you want more HP, sure. Or lastly, you could go for Broken Keel. This is the most safer one. This is the one I'm pretty it's so good. It's so good. It makes again, you're going to have your allies be crit damage DPSs. So there you go. Increases more crit damage there. And lastly, I do want to go over some characters you could play with him, but I mean, it's pretty obvious. We have Dr. Ratio and Topaz as the follow-up attackers. They will make sure to get the best value out of Aventurine, but realistically, you should be able to use it in any team where a character is building crit damage. For example, Sealer, Jinglu, anyone really, anyone. So yeah, that was my recommendation. I'm pretty sure I covered everything. I do want to say that I do see in the near future where sustain characters are going to be better as shield characters than HP characters. And I think this because the concept is very simple. Healers only heal you when you're low on health. Shielders make sure that your health doesn't even get touched. So realistically, having a healer makes your team more likely to get one shot than having a shielder on your team. But yeah, as I said before, I do recommend that you wait for the special program, see if there's a Fushuan or Ho-Ho rerun. If you want to take those of Aventurine, that's your choice. But as of right now, I'm certain Aventurine is going to be S+, maybe even better than Fushuan. The only reason Fushuan is even at S+ tier right now is because of not only her ability to sustain properly, healing as well, but also the fact that she gives crit rate to all her allies. But yeah, let me know how you felt about the video. I do appreciate if you could like and subscribe, helps with the channel a lot. But yeah, see you next time. Bye.